Frank, when I heard you'd be here, I wasn't sure what I'd find. You've become a name people whisper when the justice system fails them. Some fear you, some praise you, but no one walks away unchanged. I've always believed in talking before judging, and despite what you've done, I'm here now, trying to understand what made you trade protection for execution.
You wear a cape and get applause. I wear a vest and get warnings. That tells me enough about the world we live in. But I'll talk, if only because you've actually shown up. No satellites, no speeches, just you. And that makes you rare. But let's not pretend we're built the same. You fly over problems. I'm still bleeding from mine.
You think distance defines me? That because I can't be everywhere, I don't feel the weight? I've stood over cities reduced to rubble. I've pulled survivors out from underneath what villains left behind. But I never saw a grave as a solution. How do you know when to stop? Who taught you how to measure worth with bullets?
I don't measure worth. I measure threat. When someone keeps hurting others, again and again, I stop waiting for miracles. You've got the luxury of second chances because your strength makes the cost feel small. I get one shot. No room for maybes. Have you ever watched a man beat the system, kill again, and then smile on the way out?
I've watched men abuse freedom, yes, and I've stopped them. But I never took it as a reason to abandon the principle behind it. If we give up the chance to rise, we're not protecting the innocent. We're ruling them. Are you fixing the world, or just cutting off its limbs to slow it down?
You're trying to hold the world together with ideals. I hold it together with fear. My message doesn't get twisted. Criminals know there's a line, and crossing it costs them. Can you say your symbol still scares the right people? Or do they see a red cape and smile, knowing you won't finish what you start?
Intimidation is a tool, but it can't be the foundation. I've had power since I could crawl, and I learned early that force alone doesn't build trust. You use fear because it's fast, but what's left behind when it fades? Have you built anything that doesn't rely on your shadow?
I'm not building a legacy. I'm preventing one more headline about a butcher walking free. Trust is your battlefield. Mine is a hallway lined with names that never should have been carved into headstones. Tell me, when your restraint lets a killer walk, do you carry the name of their next victim?
Every time. And still, I don't turn to execution. Because if I cross that line once, it doesn't end. It becomes policy. You don't feel the slippery slope because you started at the bottom. Doesn't that scare you? That the more you act, the less you ask?
I ask every time. I just don't wait for perfect answers. You keep saying lines matter. What about the lives taken while you're standing behind one? You're holding back a flood with a smile and a symbol. Sooner or later, the dam breaks. And then what?
Then we rebuild. That's what people do. They recover, they rise, and yes, they fail. But we can't judge all of humanity by its worst moments. You've chosen to be permanent consequence. What happens if someone innocent ends up in your sights? Has that ever happened? Would you even know?
If I ever kill someone who didn't deserve it, I'll carry it. But I work with facts, not assumptions. My targets aren't rumors, they're monsters. People who've left trails. Maybe you can stop time and check every angle. I go in knowing the cost. Can you say the same when you let a killer live?
It's never easy. I don't pretend it is. But I live with those decisions, even when they ache. What worries me is how quiet your voice gets when someone questions your accuracy. You built your mission around punishment. But who punishes you if you're wrong? They're checked. By the law. By people. By me. It may not be perfect, but it's a system that lets us hope. Your way closes that door. You don't believe people can change. You just believe they should disappear. That's not justice, Frank. That's surrender with a loaded clip.
No one needs to. I answer to the families of victims who no longer have to sleep with a pistol under their pillow. You keep asking who checks me. Let me ask you, who checks the ones you keep saving? The ones who reload and try again? Hope didn't save my family. Bullets did. You keep preaching about what the world could be. I see what it is. Maybe I am the edge. Ugly, violent, unshakable. But someone has to stand where the idealists won't. And if that means being the last man criminals fear, so be it.